And here we are, ladies and gentlemen, true believers. I read this already, and I was just going to do a straight up reading of it. And I thought, you know what? Screw that. Let's get a friend or two and let's really lay into this thing. I got to tell you something, man. A long time ago, Mariko Tamaki made a Supergirl comic, and I thought it was really good. I did. There were parts I was thinking, really? Okay, you want to go there? Fine. But it didn't ruin what the stuff I didn't like didn't ruin the story. So when I saw that she was doing another Supergirl, I was like, oh, okay, you know, she's kind of got a grasp of the character. So that would be fun. That would be kind of cool. And oh my Lord in heaven. You know, sometimes you're wrong. And then sometimes you're wrong on such a level, it makes you embarrassed. It makes you wonder why.
Somebody monkey's pod.
Yeah. Hello to LK. What's up? Hello to LK playing Yar's Revenge. Your sound is so off. Yeah, you're literally sounding like
you sound like an 80 synth wave, sir.
Yeah.
Literally theremin music is what we're getting from you right now.
We're gonna rock on to Electric Avenue. Yeah, how you doing, LK?
Pretty good. Better or worse?
That is perfect.
Okay.
Yeah.
Much better.
It's weird. For whatever reason, it doesn't like the default speaker setting. I always have to manually move it.
That is cool.
Move it over.
So we're going to be checking out this book today. It is it's Supergirl's special.
Yeah. Now, see, I haven't checked this one out, but I could not make it past page 6 of White Widow #1 this week.
Wow, that's coming up. I'm actually going to be reading that as well.
It is horrific. If you want Yelena written as a smart aleck, dumbass 14-year-old girl, then I have a book for you.
No. I don't think anyone. I can't conceive of anyone who would want such a thing, and I don't like anyone who would, frankly.
Yeah. I mean, between that episode 5 of Loki and the 8-hour Flurkin stream.
You did not watch the Flurkin stream. Do not even. I turned over to the Flurkin stream, realized it was cats walking around doing shit, and turned it off. No way.
I checked out a few minutes, like you.
Yeah.
But then when I got done with stuff last night, I was curious and went back to my history to look, and I was like, "Oh my God, this thing went 8 hours."
It was still just cats walking around doing nothing.
For the most part, they're like, I guess like every hour there was like some kind of like unboxing a Funko Pop, or I mean,
for those not in the loop, what in the name of all things holy was the Flurkin stream?
Okay, can I describe this, please?
By all means.
So to promote the upcoming Marvel movie that everybody is going out to see, the Marvels live. They set up a series of cameras. I guess there is a cat cafe, or they call it a cat cafe in Los Angeles, that they partnered up with. They also set up some cheap green screen and some other cheap backgrounds to make it look like it's the Flurkins frolicking on the Sword spaceship.
So they made.
There was no voices. It was this weird new agey kind of music that they had over it. You could, there was no audio for the cats, so you didn't hear them.
I'll guarantee you that 8-hour live stream of cats got more views than maybe even Marvel's is going to. But I know it got more than anything I'm going to do. That's for sure.
Well, I mean, when
I looked last night, for a YouTube channel that allegedly has 20 million plus subscribers, it had 65,000 views.
Wow, that's not even 10%.
Yeah, the desperation play of
Well,
guys, we're weaponizing the lolcat impulse. Don't you like the kitties?
these days, I'm averaging 1% too. That being said, I'm not in Marvel Comics. I'm not the biggest movie franchise of the last 30 years. So, yeah, it is kind of pathetic. It's also kind of pathetic that's
the desperation move.
65,000 views.
But I mean, basically, more or less at this point, I mean, Marvel has broken me with the bad comics, this upcoming bad movie, Loki episode 5. Well, as I put in the Twitter comments, it's amazing that a 6-episode quote unquote season has to have a filler episode.
It's got a filler episode. Yeah,
I can't speak to what Marvel must be thinking, but there's a part of me that wonders if they don't know who the actual audience for a movie like The Marvels is, and that's why they went with the cat thing. Right. But I still don't think it's going to pay off, because the average YouTube viewer who likes cat videos is not going to go see The Marvels.
I got to steer the ship, okay? Because we're talking about Marvels, and this is a bad comic book download. Now, granted, it wouldn't be the first time that we did a live stream and never talked about the topic that was in the thumbnail.
Yeah. But let's avoid it if we can feasibly.
Yeah.
Let us boldly go into crap.
Let me do my little segue here. Is for as bad as Marvel is, for the longest time, I always felt you could always go to DC because DC is writing the stories for adults. DC is the more mature. They're actually giving you good books. And during the rebirth, that was absolutely it. During the 80s, the 90s, 2000, they went a little bit too Marvel. But and the 2010s up until the rebirth, I still think they were better. But then we get this. Here's a problem that I've noticed a lot is that these books are being written. And of course, they're saying, okay, only women can write women now. Only Asians can write Asians. Only Black people can write Black characters, so forth and so on. But what we're
only then if they're politically aligned.
But what we're finding out is that when you hand a comic book off to somebody who fits that demographic, you're not going to get a good comic book, with rare exception. Of course, there's always an exception to every rule. But once again, I read Mariko Tamaki's Supergirl from a few years back, and I liked it. And here she is back again. It's called the Supergirl Special. Right here it says, on her own, ready for battle. I am challenging you right now, as we read through this, to find any time in this comic book where she seems ready for battle. Just saying.
Okay.
The cover, maybe the cover, I guess.
The cover, yeah. Okay.
Is that a Terry Dodson cover? No, I'm sure.
It says Price on it.
Yeah. I don't know who that is.
Okay, by the way,
Terry Dodson.
Apparently Static is going to be gay in this new young adult novel. What the freaking hell is up with him in braids?
Why?
Not just dreads, but it looks like he's braided his hair.
Oh, come on now. I can't automatically assume he's going to be gay. The one girl there looks like, she's throwing him a load. So.
She isn't gay. I'm not saying she's gay. But they drew Static to look gay.
Well, what I will say with this is what you need to do is go look up the biography on Lamar Giles. That'll tell you everything on what.
That's true. Hello to Times for the kickback. And let's go. Okay, so Supergirl starts off, and it shows pictures of Power Girl and Supergirl, and they're like, the girls are fighting. Would 100% pay to. This is modern day comics. They try to throw Twitter and TikTok and all that bull crap into it. Some dude saying would 100% pay good money to see these heroes take each other down. By the way, guys, don't do that. I'd pay good money to see that. That would be a guy's statement. This is definitely written by a woman. The other one, is it just me or do these two hate each other? See, she's trying to get this going. Of course, they got them facing off right here. You got to get in that Supergirl and Power Girl don't like each other. Battle of the Blondes, they're calling it. And we see the Justice League in a very poorly drawn page.
What is even going on in this shot? Or this panel. I don't know what the heck is supposed to be.
it tells you
literally
kind of
it's a recap page.
Yeah, it tells you right here what's going on. In today's news, an epic battle was had between the Super Family. I hate it when they write like everybody in the comic reads comics. Nobody should be calling this the Super Family. That's on the title of the comic. So anywho, it goes on to say the Super Family and the Toyman on hand to rescue Metropolis were two heroes you may have trouble telling apart, Supergirl and Power Girl. But I really do want to point out the lack of any definition to any character who isn't Power Girl or Supergirl. It's horrible art. And of course,
I can't, based on that caption, I cannot get any information contained in that caption from this panel at all, or this last page.
So it's basically Toyman. This is his giant toy that the Super Family is having hard time with. Which, by the way, I would also like to point out that the Crisis on Infinite Earths wanted to do away with a whole bunch of problems. One of the problems was how many super people there were. And now they're just bringing it back. Now it's like, oh, yeah, we're going to have Superman. Now we have Super Twins. Now we have Supergirl. Now we have Power Girl. And they changed Power Girl. They fucked her up.
Again?
Yeah,
oh, God.
Don't get me started on that book. So the only two comments I'll make here is it's not impossible. I could honestly see, I mean, if you kind of step back a little bit, think about our news media. If we, and there's no good analogy in terms of a group like this in our real world, but I could totally see the news media, dubbing a group of heroes that are all related.
Okay.
The Jackson 5, the Cardassians,
I'll back off on that particular point.
But I mean, it's fine. I totally though get your point in terms of what you're saying. The other thing I'll say is it's wonderful to see that Supergirl is Haram. She is showing absolutely zero skin, so she can go ahead and fight evil in Saudi Arabia and other Muslim countries.
There you go. Okay. While social media is aglow with gratitude, fans of the Super Family also want to know, does the recent arrival of Power Girl indicate a change in the wind for superheroes that guard our city? Are two Supergirls better than one? And or is that one super too many? And we see Supergirl depressed on, by the way, there's a building, you look it up. Abandoned building in Orlando. There's a building that looks just like this that got bought up. It was going to be made, then it was abandoned, and then it got bought, and they didn't have money to continue construction, and it's just been sitting there, and it looks just like that. So to me, no, she's sitting on a building in Florida. Are they even both really all that super if Supergirl took a major hit and almost died? Maybe not. Now, this has to be on social media. We talk about things more than report things, but we're not professional writers most of the time. You're supposed to write your scripts. I don't. I'm one of those who are. There's two ways to do it: off the cuff or write your scripts. Some people say that's why my channel is failing, but I'm more off the cuff. This doesn't. The words aren't anybody's but Mariko's. If you and if you're reading it, it doesn't work. Like if it's a script and you have an actor, look at a Woody Allen movie. If you read Woody Allen scripts, they all read like Woody Allen talking. But when you give it to a good actor, they make it their own, and it doesn't.
They can bring it to life for you. Yeah.
This right here is Mariko Tamaki. There is no way anybody but Mariko Tamaki are saying these words. So we hear somebody say, hey, Kara, and it's these two twins that apparently came back with Superman when he was on Warworld. And once again, it's too many Kryptonians. We're getting the same problem that we had pre-crisis. Hello to Time for the Kickback again. Ash 1138 is in the house here. We got Jay Lucian as well. I hope you guys enjoy. We're going to be reading through this book, and it's going to be an EFAP. This is a Bad Comic Beatdown Live, and this one truly deserves it.
We're riffing it.
Yeah. She says hello. They're like, what are you doing? Nothing. Looks like you're on your phone. And she says, yes, what? And they're just kind of staring at her. What was Krypton like? Right away, they're annoying. I'm sorry, but this whole thing, this is annoying.
It's hipster speak is what is the issue. Like, this is how hipsters in like upper crust cities act, and only hipsters in upper crust cities. It's not even millennial speak, because as a millennial, I can tell you we don't talk like that. And my Zoomer brothers, both younger than me, also don't talk like this.
So two things real quick. Number one, so I read their recent backup story in Action Comics.
Okay.
I thought one is a boy and one is a girl.
Okay.
But it looks like there's two girls here. So yeah, I don't know if that's bad art or what, or I.
Well, we already established it's bad art, but it might be something more as well.
Number two, you read the Power Girl special from a few months back, right?
Yeah, I did. Don't ask me to remember it.
No, but here's the thing. We're getting the same story again. This is again like a bad female, not led, but a female centric sitcom in terms of you've got two characters and one of them thinks, oh, I don't fit in. The family's not here. Woe is me. I can't find myself. And you have the other one saying, oh, woe is me. My family doesn't understand me. I'm all alone. And of course, I'm waiting for them to come together in a few issues to say, "Oh, ha ha ha, we're just the same." And then we'll
get to more of that as we go. But as you bring it up, let me ask you something. Because Supergirl ever been that character? Power Girl has been that character before, and sometimes it's written well. But when has Supergirl ever been that character?
They don't know the difference.
Yeah. Hello to Gene Gentry. Hey, if you have a camera and a mic, come on in. I'd actually like to meet you.
Yeah.
I follow Gene Gentry on Twitter. She's awesome. Give her a follow there. Cool. Also, Rhaegar is saying, I don't know what you guys are talking about. This comic is amazing. I do not accept that unless you use the Benchwarmers 3-syllable amazing.
Amazing.
Okay, but back on point to the comic, because there's something that I just noticed that is a minor detail, but it's annoying me now that I noticed it.
Okay.
Why is Supergirl even carrying a cell phone? Like, in their super suits and things, they have like communications comms that they can use. There is literally no reason why they should bring their cell phones with them on a superhero patrol. Because and this is something else that is related to the hipsterella nonsense. Do these writers not understand that these, the vigilantism, the superheroics are a job for these people? Like, these costumes are uniformed, basically. They go out and do the job. And they have comms specifically because you don't want to be distracted by Farmville while you're on freaking superhero patrol.
No, it's an adventure. I'm going on a trip. I mean, it just.
Yeah. You make a decent point on this.
But I'll just throw this last thing out there. Again, this is another story about somebody who doesn't know how they fit in and trying to discover themselves. And I have come to realize this is one of the only types of stories that all of these writers that fit into a certain box can tell.
It's the YA genre. They grew up on the YA genre, and it completely corrupted their sense of self.
Let's move on, lest this be a 4-hour video.
Yeah, but go ahead. Yeah.
Okay, so they ask her what Krypton's like. She says it was the most beautiful place in the universe. And then we get this freaking Zack Snyder blue haze over everything. And I'm just, I don't, you know what? Yeah, the art is bad. I'm going to point out to an artist that not a lot of people would be able to live up to, but oh my gosh, I can't believe George Perez would have this with enormous detail. It would be all sorts of colorful. And instead, like I said, we get this blue haze. It's like Zack Snyder directed this shit.
There are also no hard lines anywhere. Like, everything is really like almost like watercolorish, as though it's a like a children's book or something rather than a adult comic or anything.
It's an attempt at a painted, illustrated type style. It's not a comic book style.
It just makes it look juvenile, though.
If you say it was beautiful, the planet and my home city of Argo, unless we're actually that was Candor. I was about to say looking through a jar, but it just doesn't fit. And then I guess the dude says, "What did you do there?" And she says, "What did I do?" As we see White kind of wipe over her memory, and they're flying around it. "Did you have friends?" "Yes." "Did you go to school?" "Sure." "Did you do superhero things?" "No, because I wasn't a superhero." "So what did you do?" And she goes, "I don't know, just regular kid things." "Okay, that's it." That was the most surface level bullcrap.
This entire scene could have been cut from the comic, and it would have saved space for something that actually would be meaningful.
Now, they could say, "Come on, it's Sunday dinner," but of course you have to add, it's a thing now.
Yeah, I was just going to say, scroll back up real quick to where they're flying around her.
Okay.
It all looks like the same person.
Same person, doesn't it? Yeah. There's no distinction between the two. Gene, do you have StreamYard? If you do, I send a link. Just click on it, and I'll hear you come in, and it's free to join if you don't have StreamYard, and I could get you in. But yeah, I guess if you don't have that, you would have to join up. So if it's not too much trouble, if it is, I get it. I understand. He is right. This is terrible. It should be a purple haze. But yeah, there's no distinction between the twins here at all.
And the yellows almost look orange, or is that just my brain not processing correctly?
No, I think they do. So she follows them off. And of course, a little bit of a race, and they get there and they're talking, okay, paper plates. No one in the super family is washing dishes. And it's basically holiday banter and all that. And she says, "What did I do on Krypton?" It's not that hard of a question. It's not like it's ancient history. By the way, they are actually talking about, let's watch a superhero movie. Just saying.
Now, okay, there is some leeway for this because there have been times where the Marvel comics have existed within the DC universe, and the DC comics have existed in the Marvel universe.
I'm sorry to pull out the in my day stuff.
No, I know it was. I'm just saying there is precedence, Your Honor. I'm basically pulling a dirty maneuver.
And I mean, certainly, you think about this universe. I mean, obviously, there would be, movies showing the adventures of superheroes. I mean, my God, all the stuff that's happened. It's the same thing. Of course, in this universe, they would be documentary.
Yeah, that would be.
No, I think you still have the escapist element to some extent.
She asked herself, so why doesn't she know the answer as to what she did on Krypton?
Because your writer is terrible and should know better than to know that you do probably know.
Now,
but
John comes up and he says, "Hey, you're still here." Apparently I am. "You're in outer space today." She says, "Yep." "Did you see this? Dad made for the twins. It's a Koltari box," whatever the hell that is. They don't even bother, by the way.
Yeah, why would they?
The twins were asking me about Krypton about as a kid. Okay, what's a fucking Koltari box? Okay, so I know it's not important to the story, but they just bring it up. Okay, why? If it doesn't, I get it if it has.
You can't drop a term without context.
It would be world building had they gone, "Oh, okay, this is it." If you ever read a Usagi Yojimbo book, by the way, I have access to StreamYard. If you send me the link, I sent it on Twitter. Gene, I sent it on Twitter for you. It should be still good. Hello to hey Tal, what's up?
If you just add her to our Twitter group.
Oh, okay, yeah, I'll do that. What's up, Tal? You're welcome to come in. By the way, ladies and gentlemen, Tal works at the comic shop I go to. Hello, glad you could join us. We're doing a bad comic beatdown on the new Supergirl issue, by the way. So feel free to join in. If you see something, say something. Ha! Okay. But yeah, if you come up with a good joke or something you notice as well, just bring it right on up. And by the way, I'm doing fine. She's asking if everybody's doing well. You good? Okay, you were sick earlier. You kicked it?
Yeah, I'm feeling better. So, and I've made it through my week, and now I'm off next week. So I will be spending the week in beautiful Branson, Missouri. So looking forward to it.
I actually, Gail has been taking me out to dinner every week. She, not me, has been like, oh, hey, we should go to all the Disney restaurants we haven't gone to that we want to because we're moving, you know, so there you go. Okay, so I will also send Jean the link once more and see if she can get in here. Tal, you're more than welcome if you have a camera. I know you said you're more of a lurker. Feel free. But yeah, nice kid. But there you go. She is. I think Tal would actually be younger than you, young guy. Whom I have talked to for the last 6 years.
My name. Wow, you really are old.
And your name has escaped me. We've been talking. You've been on this channel now for 6 years, and I totally blinked out. So there you go.
Every live stream we've ever done where I was the co-pilot, and he doesn't remember my name.
All righty. So anywho, let's move on. So she says, is that okay? You have a criminal past we don't know about? She says, what? No. I mean, he said, what? You just met Supergirl? Is that what's going on here? She says, no, I mean, of course it's okay. They just asked. And he asked, what was it like? And she kind of blanks out. By the way, I am giving you all of the information that they're giving you as well. That's it. I mean, of everyone here, we probably have the weirdest answers to the question, what was our childhood like? And that's saying something. Of course, John was aged up and so forth and so on when Lois and Clark decided to be horrible parents. Hey, you remember that guy that was a villain to us, not but 40 issues or 4 issues ago? Yeah, let's let our son go into space with him. Yeah, do you remember that? Oh, go on ahead.
Let's not bring up the shadow of Nabindus.
Right. So Kara replies, I don't even have a weird answer. I have like nothing other than remembering Argo itself. The rest is just complete blank. And John says, okay, well, start with the city. And she closes her eyes and she tries to remember. Now, okay, I don't remember this. I know I read through it, but I don't remember this. But if it becomes the beautiful, colorful city that I mentioned, then I will give points to. And she says, he says, tell me about Argo City. What do you remember? Nope. Still directed by Zack Snyder. Blue haze. I got one of those right here. Okay.
It's the flashback filter.
My blue filter, and I'll put that over everything.
It's the flashback filter, must be.
The sound of it, the noise of all the people, it was around you all. It was around you all the time. Buildings like liquid glass and steel. Liquid glass is hot and melting all over you. This is not a pleasant experience, ladies and gentlemen. Trust me, when you're with your partner, use wax, not liquid glass. Hello to Jean Tree. Jeannie, what's up? Her mic's off. There she goes. How you doing?
Hello.
Howdy.
Hey, I'm all right. Thank you for inviting me on. I happened to see you guys. I was like, oh God, Mariko Tamaki. I'm probably a bit too familiar with her She-Hulk run, and she basically tells the same story 100 times over.
Yeah.
Who don't love that story.
the She-Hulk where the whole plot was let's go grab coffee.
The slice of life in a superhero comic story for some reason.
Yeah, right. Right.
It
and the
was
issue
the
was
coffee
that, like,
series.
I don't mind if you. Yeah, I don't mind if somebody has like a quiet moment in a story that can be used for dramatic effect, or if you want to tackle a serious, complex topic like depression, which was one of the themes of that run. But it's like, dear God, you're still writing a comic book. It has to be entertaining. It can have a message, but you still have to present that message in a way that comic book fans understand and are entertained by. I don't want to see a
and you can still do.
Dean, if you can turn up the volume on your mic, if you could do that, or we're getting a barely hear you kind of thing from Ash. So it's a little quiet. I can understand, but yeah, if you can, that'd be cool. What were you about to say there, Dalton?
I was going to add to her point and say you can also do like day-to-day life stuff in a comic, especially if you're trying to contrast with some kind of super heroic drama or something. Like I think they did that a lot in the years when Spider-Man went to college and he was trying to juggle everything between his super heroic life and Mary Jane and of course school and stuff. But
after every big X-Men adventure, they used to play baseball.
Yeah.
Until somebody decided to hit the Jew with a baseball bat. What which
but these writers, because they cut their teeth on manga, very female-centric manga, and YA novels, they actually find the slice of life stuff more interesting than the superheroics. So the superheroics actually become the window dressing, and the slice of life stuff becomes the main plot somehow.
Yeah, I remember a Champions book where they were all sitting around having coffee and tea, and it was like, oh my gosh, a Sentinel. And then they ran out, one punched it, and went back to coffee and tea. It was like 3 panels worth of action in the entire book. Like, that sucked.
Right.
I don't know what that was for.
Yeah,
so
I'm hoping I can be heard better now. Yeah, StreamYard, it's like, it's weird. Sometimes I'm too loud. I'm in New York, I can't help it. And some
Dalton has the same problem.
But,
he'll be good, and then all of a sudden, gone. Let's see. We find out her real goal later was to depress the reader. Yeah, that was Mariko Tamaki. Once again, I think it was called Being Super. It was actually a good Supergirl story. I liked, for the most part, I liked it. I was actually surprised to find out how horrible this book was. It isn't just bad. It's like as you're going to find out, or as already find out, it's extra bad. They went, hey, you do this not, you need MSG. You need MSG. That's what I say. Okay, so anyway, it says, by the way, that was Uncle Roger. That's not me doing an average Chinese guy. That was Uncle Roger. Go check out his videos. Anyway, I said, cancel him. Oh my gosh, I can't believe he did that. Get him. Yeah.
I kind of figured that was an Uncle Roger impersonation.
Yeah, I love Uncle Roger. Most people do. What can you say? I remember the feeling, the hum of everyone. She continues to say, what else? I remember, and then she goes to a race. And I'm going to have to explain this because there's no dialogue. The guy says, go. And she says, I remember running. And right away, we see she's in the middle of a pack, but quickly breaks forward. She goes, long before I could fly, I could fly. Go, Kara, go. It's like the Flash Gordon thing. Go, Flash, go. Woo. Okay. And she's going. Yeah. And she's hauling. She's winning. And then we have the young lady come up behind her, and she goes, I was the fastest kid in my class. I was Kara. And then it flashes back. She's like, Kara, where did you go? Now, if it actually said, once again, that little thing that they said, oh, here's a so-and-so. If they go, oh, wow, this visualizes your memories or something like that. No. She's like,
exposition would be extremely helpful and necessary to the plot, but whatever.
And this is something that works better in a TV script as a scene, where you fade out into a flashback and you see it, and then it pops back and she's back.
And they're writing it as a TV script because they don't know the difference between mediums.
Yeah, and that could work in a TV show or a movie, but it doesn't work on the show.
Or it could, but it would be extremely difficult, and you'd have to be very skilled at it.
Okay, what were we saying, Gene?
Yeah. No, I was saying that I would like to know why she's having, she's kind of confused, and then she kind of throws the chair back. I'm like, that was a pretty pedestrian memory of being a track star in high school. Or why is she having that type of sort of shock reaction?
It's not like Jor-El came into the room with a chainsaw and a hockey mask.
Yeah.
Right. There's nothing abnormal there. Okay, plenty of people have memories about when they were the star athlete in their youth. What is special about that?
I think the implication is supposed to be that she, for some reason, can't remember Krypton because she's repressed a lot of the memories. So she was surprised that she could vividly remember the memory at all. I think it's not explained, and I'm filling in the gaps for them. But I think that's what they were going for.
I could go another way. I'm gonna turn into a SJW Karen here, and I'll tell you why she thought it was traumatic. The black girl was beating her. There you go. That's all a race thing. That's it.
Let me.
It is always blonde white girls, isn't it? That become the main characters in these.
Yeah, it's a memory that she was no longer special.
That's what's going on here. That's what's going on here because Power Girl comes in. Yes. She's thinking that she's the one that's pushed aside. Before, like in the 2000s, the JSA All-Stars, the first 6 issues of that was really where does Power Girl sit? Because let's face it, Supergirl is more popular than Power Girl, no matter what. Of course, within the comic book readers, we think Power Girl's cooler, but Supergirl is more popular. And Tao is going, hey, it was a literal race as well. So there you go.
Yeah. Well, Supergirl's had a movie. It's a TV show.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, Rhaegar is putting in that I'm being a quarantine. A quarantine. Okay. All right. So Supergirl decides she's going to go back home. She leaves. And Superman comes, asks John, is she okay? And she says, it's hard to say. Hopefully, if I keep asking, one day she'll let me know. We see her in a fetal position, crying in bed. And she remembers Krypton collapsing. Was it a meteor shower? I remember it blowing up from within.
Yeah, I remember it being something seismic, although that may have just been because it was the backstory they went with for Superman in the animated series. But as far as I was aware, that was always the gimmick in the comics too. The core of their planet was unstable.
Okay, so she wakes up in fear. You hear Kara, Supergirl, this is Superman, please respond. An explosion in the basement of a high-rise threatens the security of the downtown core as authorities suspect an imminent collapse. And we see her showing up. You see some explosions. And Supergirl flies in. We hear that they're making a 6-block perimeter. The supers have almost cleared the building. And we see Superman and everybody flying around helping people. Supergirl helps a lady with an ambulance saying it's going to be okay. The ambulance will take you. And we hear, help! And Supergirl flies up. Once again, we see Power Girl helping an old lady. Supergirl saying, there's someone on the roof of the building. And she's flying towards it. And Power Girl says, where's Supergirl going? And we still hear the help. And then Kara says, there's someone up there. And she laps Supergirl. When was this possible?
What the
it's possible in this moment because Mathemes basically is the only justification.
Yeah.
Here's what Mariko Tamaki decides Supergirl will do. She grabs Power Girl to stop her and says, I got this. And
when there are innocents in danger.
Yeah.
So she just became the villain then.
Yeah,
because she put her selfishness over.
At the very least, this is not a Supergirl kind of thing to do. She doesn't do this. Both of them should have flown. If Supergirl could even catch up to her at that point, both of them should have flown together. Let's go deal with the subject. Let's go. Both of us help out. But no, in Mariko's eyes, Supergirl, after I'm sorry, how long has it been? It's been what? Wasn't she 57, 58 around there? How long has it been? She is damn near 70 years old. This Supergirl character, never once has she been like this. Mariko Tamaki says, you know what Supergirl would do? Get jealous and stop somebody from trying to help. What? Okay, you got your hand up.
And let's fault the editors on all of these books because there is no consistency in the characterization of this Supergirl is not like the Supergirl in Fire and Ice, Welcome to Smallville. and she's not the Supergirl and Power Girl, and Power Girl. As they say, I want to swear up and down in terms of just how bad this story is so far.
It is not good.
I've
wanted
only
it to
been
be
a part
good.
of this for a few minutes, and already I want to scream.
Feel free to. We call it bombing Pearl Harbor around here.
This is also why it bothers me, and I just realized this. If a male character of any description, black, white, otherwise, whatever, did this behavior, they would automatically be able to spot that it was villainy that was going on, that it was entitlement and narcissism.
So Supergirl looks up. We see a huge piece of the building coming down on her, and she's trying to stop it. Superman sees it. Supergirl's in trouble, and she blasts everything into debris, and she lands lots of debris around her. She asks, "What is wrong with me?" Well, that was great. You almost got yourself killed. Again, really? Really? You almost got yourself killed because of a building crashing down? Something like every super member could fly straight through. They could for some reason,
through the
Superman
planet
and
and
his
not
whole
get
family,
phased.
Superman and his whole family can not only go through walls, they can go through walls and make every bit of rebar disappear. This is something, you're not in trouble here, girl. The debris
Not to mention
falling,
the innocents that are actually in danger.
yeah, the
whatever.
debris falling, that was the problem. So anyway, everybody's thanking Power Girl for helping instead of her. Power Girl saying, "No problem, sir. These EMTs are going to take care of you. Being a hero isn't a race, but I just made it one." Somebody says, "Supergirl," and she says, I made it a race and I lost. Even when I'm a superhero, I just can't win, and I can't want to win." And we see her fall, as she says, "Because when I do, it trips me and I fall." And we hear, "Elsa beat Kara. Kara's a loser. Everybody, loser. Kara, come on, you're a loser."
Okay.
Loser.
Okay. Okay, wait a second. Who the hell cares at this point? Why the hell is she so hung up over this memory? She lost the race.
Because it was repressed and she just got it back.
This, Gene, I think this memory would work if it was Supergirl year 1.
Maybe.
But not here.
I mean,
Also,
at best, it's her first
go ahead,
defeat.
okay.
It's the only thing that makes sense. Is, you know, she was perfect up to this point. Wasn't her house kind of royalty? Or one of
Yeah,
the
they were.
houses?
The House of L is aristocrats.
Yeah, so it would be the equivalent of, say, Diana, you know, getting beat.
Right,
but again,
remember,
it's
my
so
Supergirl more correctly. She's not raised on Krypton, right?
Yeah,
She's
but
sent to Earth.
poorly done.
Well, she was what, 15, 16 when the planet exploded?
Somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And moreover, LK, to your point, if that's what we're seeing here, if what we're seeing here is an aristocrat's first brush with being a mere mortal, and juxtaposing it with the Kara trying to stop Power Girl, that basically means that we are following a superpowered equivalent of Regina George from Mean Girls, who's dealing with losing for the first time. I mean, unironically, that seems to be where we are.
And
we're supposed to feel bad because the privileged aristocrat white woman with superpowers, mind you, is going through some kind of midlife crisis with repressed memories.
Can I point out, by the way, she didn't lose. She came in second. I mean, you could be like Ricky Bobby. Second place is first to last.
Well, but if you've gone through a lifelong winning streak, that first loss is going to sting.
But she didn't lose.
Yeah.
Just saying. And by the way, it was, if you're not
second
first,
feels like a lot of a loss when you've gotten first for dozens of times.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, okay, and just real quick, because I myself so much, I had to look it up because I was trying to remember. Oh.
Oh no, you go LK,
sorry.
and then Gene will follow.
Okay. So I don't recommend people go check this out, but if you go and compare Supergirl that's in Hot Girl number 4, which is basically a happy-go-lucky, happy Supergirl that's also flirting with female Steel, to this, I want to know, is there a timeline here that this one comes before that came after before this, or is it just freaking editors that don't talk to each other, that don't care, that are just allowing the writers or themselves, because they may actually be, writing the books or telling the writers what to do, doing this, because it's just absolutely insane. And it's interesting that 4 of the worst written books at DC right now are Hot Girl, Power Girl, Fire and Ice, Welcome to Smallville, and now this Supergirl one-shot.
It's like I said at the beginning of all. I'm sorry. I'll comment on this, and then it's all Gene. It's like I said at the beginning of this. They say, well, you have to have a woman write a woman. You have to have a black person write a black character. You have to have a gay person write a gay because they bring in their experiences. But all we have seen, and this actually makes sense, when there is an oppression Olympics going on. If you see yourself as a victim because of the fact that you are whatever you are, then maybe you do come up with depressing stories about you not being good enough, which, by the way, is this. That's what we're getting. Supergirl, who once again has been around since the freaking 50s and at this point has been an established strong character. At one point they were saying stronger than Superman, is all of a sudden, oh, I'm not good enough. Anyway, I'm sorry for taking time. Please, Gene, go on ahead.
No, it's all right. I actually think that you summed up pretty much what I was gonna say. I mean,
sorry.
I'm the first to admit I'm much more of a Marvel person than a DC, and when the DC I'm more Power Girl. But I've never known, at least any version of Supergirl that I'm aware of, I've never known her to be like this immature. I mean, I understand there's like an anger issue, a temper she has, and she can be immature at times because she's young. But there's like immature, and then there's just plain like selfish. And at least from the panels I'm seeing, I do not understand why at this level in the game, where she's participating in essentially rescue operations, why you would behave like this, or why losing some race when she thought she was normal or whatever, when would suddenly be this mental and emotional hang up for her. But I think your point about a representation of the oppression Olympics is actually a great explanation. So thank you.
Especially when you consider all of Supergirl's accomplishments since she came to Earth would wipe out any, or maybe not any, maybe she would always continue to try the hardest because she doesn't feel that she's good enough, but she doesn't give up. And that's Supergirl. And by the way, just for being on here, Gene, I would like to welcome you to being an ist and a phobe. There you go. Okay. And
welcome to the unmentionable.
Yeah. All right. So, by the way, Cartoons and Comics saying this generation has the worst reasons to write narcissism and ideology instead of ideals. I was watching Saving Private Ryan. The ideals far beyond what we think inspired for generations. This writer has problems projecting in a comic, says Undead Quinn. The white blonde girl letting the black girl win is equity. Oh, that she let her win. Okay. Okay, so Tal's laughing her ass off. Undead Quinn says she went dark side. She has been through worse. Let's see what's going on here. I'm going to get to the... hello to Guy from Red Bank. What's up? I like the art style, but that's about it. Really? God bless you, man. We're going to agree to disagree on that, but God bless you for it.
It looks like something out of Steven Universe to me, frankly.
Well,
okay, here's something
better than the writing.
Supercam, Mariko Tamaki's detective run, surprisingly good. I give credit where credit is.
I refuse to believe it. I refuse to believe it.
No, I'm not going to go back there. But no, actually, I enjoyed the Mariko Tamaki detective run. She is somebody much like Stephanie Phillips, who, when they try, can actually do stuff. Let's see. Even on Krypton, they had Equity Face Blue Smiling, says Ash. Darth Cisco saying hi, everybody. Hello to Darth. Let's see. And Undead Quinn is agreeing with you, even though you haven't read it. Mariko Tamaki Detective Run, not good. Let's see. She represents Krypton culture like a woman for Jewish culture was part Jewish man. Only woman can continue. Jewish culture only her can Krypton culture. That's what she is. Ladies and gentlemen, I do not believe. Sometimes I do have to translate cartoons and comics. Let's see. She represents Krypton culture. Okay. Like the woman for Jewish culture was part Jewish man, only woman could continue. I unfortunately can't do that for the bottom part. I apologize.
I think what he's getting at is because Kryptonian culture is at least loosely connected to Jewish culture through Siegel and Schuster, there might be a parallel where Kara being the one to continue Kryptonian culture might be an ersatz reference to Jewish culture.
Oh, okay. Okay. All right.
Yeah. Sorry, I just want to say just real quickly, and I think you had mentioned this earlier on. This story could have worked better if this were young Kara who had just arrived on Earth or had only been here for a year or two.
Yeah.
But then we saw that in a great episode of Justice League. Was it Justice League or Justice League Unlimited at that point?
It must have been Unlimited, because that was when they expanded the cast.
Yeah. With late teen Kara, who was trying to figure out how she fit in and went to live with Ma and Pa Kent and all that fun stuff, and had a great costume.
Can we all just agree that the Paul Dini Bruce Timm verse runs circles around anything they've produced in the comics for like the last 10, 15 years?
Since 2013. Comics really took a I'd say DC Comics took a nosedive when they decided to trash everything and go New 52, but at least they got it back with Rebirth. Let's continue the story here. We see this dude giving her one of those little stone thingies. I guess it's a trophy of some point. And said, "Congratulations, Elsa. We knew you could kick the shit out of that little girl. Kara, you suck." That's the underlying tones to what he's saying here. We knew you could do it. It's like the Wizard of Oz, and I'm gonna miss you most of all, Scarecrow. Yeah, and I fail, says Supergirl, and they're like, "Hey, Supergirl," and we see Power Girl. Are you okay? Of course I'm okay. What's going on with you? Power Girl's asking, and she looks irritated. I get it. What's going on with you? You've been around since the freaking 50s. Quit acting like this.
And she's got no right to be, because she's the one that screwed up in the first place by going, "Where are you going?" And then
yeah, like if she had just let Supergirl do what she's there to do. She says, "Nothing you need to worry about now. Both of them, it's a cat fight." And she says, "I don't need another therapy session," which apparently will be in Action Comics or was in Action Comics 1053. And she says, "Good. I'm not your therapist." Oh, well, can I read it like that? Are you okay? Of course I'm okay.
Sure,
What's going on with you? Nothing you need to ever worry about. I don't need another therapy session. Thanks. Good. I'm not your therapist. I saw that place you go to escape. I know that place just as well as you, Kara Zor-El. That place you go. I sound like Matt Stone trying to do Mr. Garrett.
But I just realized something rather disturbing. There was more superheroics in the superhero romantic comedy My Superhero Ex-Girlfriend than there is in this comic.
We got 2 pages. So she says it's not real.
Now, where
and
I come
Supergirl. Go on ahead, Gene.
No, sorry. I was just thinking about that little confrontation between her and Power Girl, and I'm just like, Karen or Paige, whatever the hell they're calling her now, she's Karen Star in my book. I'm like, you need to go over there and like slap this brat. Like, where I come from, you mess up that bad, someone's whooping your ass. You don't screw up like that.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
They both need to be slapped upside the head.
So Supergirl goes to Lois's house.
Supergirl more.
She goes in. Lois says, she says, Lois, are you okay? Did I forget? And she says, no, this is a spontaneous drop by. Now she is inside Supergirl's apartment, waiting. Just saying. And she goes, and I made cupcakes. She says, really? Sure, why not? I can do cupcakes. I can do a lot of things, including cupcakes. Well, who says that? Really? Yeah, I actually baked these, didn't buy them. Who goes through, sure, why not? I could do cupcakes. I can do lots of things, including cupcakes.
It's millennial. It's millennial hipster speak. It's bourgeois intern diversity hire speak.
Well, and it's also the trope too of, you know, Lois is the powerful woman that can both have a career and also do the mommy stuff. She can do
I get that. I get that. She was brought up. She was raising her sister. So I would guess that Lois Lane can actually cook. That would be something I would credit to her, because we do know that her mother died and her father was a general who was always not home. So she had to take care of her younger sister. So you want to tell me Lois Lane can cook? I'm with you. But
it's not surprising.
What I'm complaining about is, sure, why not? I could do cupcakes. I can do lots of things, including cupcake. How about
the dialogue is interminable?
I learned how to cook when I was younger and had to take care of my sister. And here I am trying to take care of you. Now let's talk. You know, that would be better dialogue than, sure, why not? I could do cupcakes. I can do lots of things, including cupcakes. Lois continues saying, my mom was a big fan of feeding depression. And she says, I am depressed. So literally, ladies and gentlemen, a woman is going to Sweets to eat her feelings. You want to talk about stereotypes. You don't want men writing women because they would do stereotypes. The only thing that would make this more stereotypical if it was a freaking chocolate souffle. Anything chocolate.
Super sex in the super city.
There you go.
Now, I'm thinking, you know, she should just take a trip out to that superhero facility in Kansas.
Heroes
but,
in Crisis.
Wait. Yeah, but that place has been destroyed, and nobody's allowed to bring that up again.
Yeah, right after Harley Quinn beat the shit out of Wonder Woman, Batman, and Superman at the same time. Okay, that happened, but Supergirl says, when I was a girl, no matter what I did, I was always one step behind. And she's saying this as she's unwrapping a cupcake. That cupcake is the most important cupcake in comics right now. I mean, they are really leaning on that freaking cupcake.
8 panels, I think they've spent on it.
I want to know the porn book that they traced this from, because this art is better than any other page we've seen so far in this book.
Yeah. Well, they really wanted you to know about this cupcake.
In that third panel where she's licking her finger. I mean, come on.
Okay. This was supposed to be drawn by Greg Land.
Yeah.
All right. So, oh, by the way, Cupcake gets 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 panels if you count 4 panels directly only the cupcake, or 5, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, 4 panels of only the cupcake. We see her make a cupcake sandwich. I have to admit, I have done this. And you know what? I was not depressed about it.
I've never done it. I don't judge anyone who has done it. I've never felt the need to deconstruct my own cupcake. Cupcakes are awesome enough as they are.
I am honest. This body was not glandular. This body is because I love sweets and nachos, man. This is complete lack of exercise. That is what goes on here.
Yeah, we all know you're the basis of the ice cream guy from Lilo and Stitch. We know this.
God, I was gonna try and make double chocolate chip cupcakes this weekend, but now I'm not sure I want to.
So don't let this comic ruin cupcake.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not good enough to ruin cupcakes.
Yeah,
I know for myself.
The very few times I.
Go on ahead, Gene.
No, it's okay.
Yeah.
No, go on ahead. You know for yourself the many times you.
Oh, okay. I know that for myself, I've never even thought to make a sandwich out of a cupcake.
You guys are missing out. First of all,
because I literally had I literally had chocolate ice cream this afternoon, but it was a celebration of finishing part of a work project. So I was eating my feelings, but in a positive sense.
But you were eating happy.
Yeah.
Damn it.
For me, by the way, it is holiday season, and Publix has peppermint ice cream out again. So yeah, I'm cleaning off the shelf. The holidays bring two things. One has already been called the worst thing on a McDonald's menu, but November and December bring the McRib. And then in Publix, you get the mint ice cream, which Publix brand is the best. And it is just reasons to get fat. Forget about
it's too early for Christmas stuff. Talk to me on Good Friday. Then
last night I watched Year Without a Santa Claus. That's freaking awesome. So
if God were to create the perfect meat, he would make the McRib.
Yes.
And I was just going to say one positive thing I will say with that page. At least there was action. At least the pictures moved. You know, it's not the complete standard Tom King 9-panel single person, and it's just word bubbles and nothing, and the rest is static.
You're right. The as much as we talk about the cupcake, it does tell a story. You can
the action was unwrapping a cupcake.
If you take the words away, this page, which has been lambasted, actually tells a story
about unwrapping a cupcake.
That is damn near more than you could say for most of the book. So yeah, for as much as this page has gotten lambasted on Twitter, yeah, you're right. This may be the best page. So the book.
Then let's also take away at least part of that compliment, because it just goes to show you superheroics get maybe a panel or a page or two within the entire comic. Unwrapping a cupcake gets almost an entire page just to itself. Shows you where the priorities were.
So the book continues. I left my planet just as it was turning to dust, just as my world was falling apart and taking everyone with it, everyone but me, because I had a job to do. I had a destiny, but I was still already falling behind. I was too late to be the one thing I was sent to be, which of course we all know she was supposed to take care of baby Kal-El. And Lois says, Clark didn't need one, Kara, and there was nothing you could have done to that particular course of events, not from a metal tube floating through space. And she says, I know. You arrived just in time to be the thing you needed to be, Lois tells Kara, Supergirl. And she says, good night. Thanks for the cupcake. We hear somebody there. Kara comes in, bitch fight. And then they're talking. She says, you want a cupcake? She says, yeah, have one of the vanilla ones. They're all vanilla with the same fucking frosting. She says rude, but okay, whatever. Enough cupcakes. She says, you know what that security guard said to me when I saved him after I put him in an ambulance? She says, what? She says, thanks, Supergirl. You're my favorite. Which actually, okay, I get that more.
They're clones. It makes sense.
There you go.
TV,
they laugh about it. Being a hero is not easy, and sometimes you have to laugh. And we see Kara do the same thing with the cupcakes.
I'm sorry. Find me a quarter, for fuck's sake. Jesus God. Oh.
It's late enough in the video we could get away with a few F words. So, yeah. Kara says, and maybe having an alternate reality, you makes it all the less okay, and maybe having an alternate reality you makes it all. Oh, okay, so you emphasize the wrong word. No, and maybe having an alternate reality you makes it all the less easy. That would make sense, right? They highlighted makes and not you.
No.
Okay, so it's not you that's making it easy. It's me. And she's crying that she lost the race. And her dad says it's not about being smarter, Kara, or faster. It's about a destiny that is the longest race of all.
What?
I don't know.
That makes absolutely no... Again, this is the classic of a dumb writer. And I'm sorry, I will call Mariko Tamaki dumb. Thinking that they're smart. And that...
Yeah. It's my themes. Look at my themes.
You ever watch In Living Color? And,
Oh, yeah, I loved that show back in the day.
Damon Wayans played that guy in jail who always used big words, but they never made sense.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see.
That's your modern comic book writer, your modern MCU writer. I could go on.
Okay. Let's see.
Your modern writer, period. That's all that needs to be said.
Cartoons and comics saying you see that speak, they don't know how human beings talk to each other. Glenzer is saying when you aren't good enough for Oprah's book club, you write Supergirl. 21st Century Comics, gotta love them. No, you don't. Mariko writes 101 women depressed because sexism and racism need to get fat. I don't know. Let's see. Supergirl's acting like a fat girl. Oh, come on, guys. Acting like a fat dude, too.
Well, again, Mariko Tamaki, I'm sorry, is a short, squat, dumpy-looking fat woman. So she's writing what she knows.
Rhaegar is incorrectly saying the McRib is McNasty. Also not me. Now, I agree with the last part, but it is not nasty. Cartoons saying 1 panel of action, 9 panels of cupcake.
Exactly. It shows you where the priorities are. And no, that's not a fat joke. That is the elitist mindset of a deconstructionalist, modernist, bourgeois twit joke.
Let's see. Few F words, try 1,000, says Glenzer. We also get, I miss when comics worried about the boobs, the size of Power Girl's boobs. And guy from Red Bank saying, you know what? I love the story. Have at it, man. What the F, that cluster of you trash writing, says Undead Quinn. And Glenzer saying, is this called I Am Not Supergirl? Yeah. You know what? I will say, I like I Am Not Starfire better. So they say that they each share a destiny. For what it's worth, you're my favorite too. Don't tell John. She says I never would. The end. And then we get Gotham City Year One that actually looks good.
Don't know how women function. They be fighting.
They would be catty towards each other, right?
Well, but she's not just a woman. She's a feminist ideologue, and she wants desperately to believe in the sisterhood.
Yeah. Well, remember, though, that, Power Girl can't cheat on Lilith, a.k.a. Omen, so she's going to go home after this and scissor her. And Supergirl's going to have to go find her own new bestie, which, I mean, if you peruse pages of Hot Girl number 4, which... I don't recommend unless you have a strong drink next to you. I would say that bestie could be whoever the female Steel is. Was it
small thing also, I know most of this book was slice of life stuff, but even back in the day when you would see like the X-Men hanging around the X-Mansion after a mission or something, or before a mission or whatever, you would still see them doing slice of life stuff with their unique powers, abilities, and character types. Nobody used any powers in the slice of life scenes in this comic. They might as well have been just normal upper middle class bourgeois twits from Portland or wherever.
So after the bad comic, look, I want every bad comic beatdown live to end with me going, that was actually pretty good. I thought it was going to be bad, but I don't think any of you are going to be saying, hey, this one was pretty good. And I do believe that guy from Red Bank is actually joking around when he says he likes the story. It's just that it's so out of character. Number 1 through 10 problems with this book is this is not Supergirl. Power Girl isn't Power Girl. The one problem that we've had with this new crop of writers, and I think it's like what, 2016 up? 2013 is the start of the whole woke-a-thon and all that kind of stuff, where identity politics mean more than story. But I really do believe it's been about maybe 5-6 years that we've been getting this new crop of writers.
Hardcore, yeah.
And the ones that have literally said, don't give the audience what they want. I talked about this at the live stream last time, where yes, you give the audience what they want, but you give it to them in a way that they don't want it, or they didn't know they wanted it. I should say
that became the audience is the enemy. Go out of your way to spite them as much as possible.
It flat out went in that direction, and it got ridiculous to the point. But they don't care. You never change the core of the character. Like I said, Mark Waid a long time ago, the first rule is you do no harm. When you're done writing Spider-Man, Dan Slott, you have to make sure that Peter Parker is still Peter Parker and not some version of you. And in this case, Mariko Tamaki did this with Supergirl. She did this with She-Hulk. You could say she did it with Starfire's daughter, but that's kind of her creation. So she can do whatever she wants with it. But it's something that I think is completely lacking in some comic book writers' work. And what gets worse is that when, especially around now where people are judging you based on how you view others' racial or sexual identity, if you complain about it, you're lambasted and called an ist or a phobe or something. So once again, welcome, Gene, you racist who hates black people.
We accept they're one of us, Google guys are one of us.
What if God was one of us?
Just a flawed
By the way, the reason why I made